After 4 days of very varied racing, the French Dragon Championship has concluded in Cannes. Martin Stavros-Payne picks up the story for us.
Well, it's been a 4-day regatta. First day, on the Thursday, we had a reasonable wind. We won the first race, so that was quite nice for us. Second race was a similar wind, dropping slightly, and Gavia got the jump on the fleet, and she won that one nicely. There was a nasty collision with Jean-Pierre Gales and another boat, which put him in hospital, which is a bit unfortunate. But 54 boats entered, so I think all the rest managed to get round. Friday, did we get any races in Friday?
No, we didn't. It was the windy day Friday.
Friday was Mistral or something. And then we raced again yesterday. We got 2 races in. Again, consistent was Russia 27 and Louis Hervois. And it came down to a 3-way fight between Russia 27, Gavia and Louis. And today, Gavia finished second, but Louis won the race. So Louis is the champion, Gavia is second, Russia 27 has ended up third. We've tied with Ivan Bradbury on fourth, and I think Mark Dicker, young Mark, sailing his dad's boat, is in 6th place. So it's ended up pretty good for the Brits, and a good win for Louis, and well done Gavia.
And in terms of the race management and how the weekend's been run, how do you feel it went?
Yeah, I think Cannes is always tricky, we know that. It's you've either got no wind here or too much. But it's ironic that now we're sat here and it's probably been the best blow of the weekend. But the race officer's done well. I think sometimes they could use the black flag earlier. I know people don't like to see it on the first start, but I think when you're in a very narrow window for the wind and time is not on your side and you have a big fleet, a black flag start on the first start is a must, because then you get the fleet away and you can get more races in. We're wasting at least 30 minutes each time by having a general recall, and then by the time they reposition the line, blah blah. And a race officer, if the black flag start is going wrong, he can always postpone with about a minute to go, and then nobody actually gets blackboarded. You know, he can just say, oh well, the pin's in the wrong place, or there was a wind shift. So it's that's one thing they ought to think about. But generally, the craning out, craning in is very good here. Like I said, we're all very sad about Jean-Pierre Gales. He's going to be out of action for the rest of the season, I expect. But it's a good turnout. Down in Cascais, they only had, I think, about 12 boats, and they've had really bad storms. So, of the 2 venues to be, this was the place to be this weekend.
And where are you all off to next?
Some of us are going down to Cascais for the second regatta down there, which is the Juan Carlos Trophy. A lot of the Russian boats have 2 boats now, so they keep one down there and one here. But the majority of this fleet are all going to go to San Remo in a month's time.
Picking up on some of Stav's comments there, we spoke to Gavia Wilkinson-Cox about that difficult final day and the problems with the start procedures.
So going into the last day's racing, there was really everything to sail for, and we just felt we needed to sail our own race. And in the first race, it ended up with a battle of 4 of us down to the finishing line, which was Uli Libor, another regular competitor I sail against, sailing in his new Pettigrew under Swiss sail numbers. And there was Christian Boileau, who is a local boat to Cannes, and Louis Hervois and ourselves all fighting for the first 4 places. And we were coming in 4th, in fact, until the turning around the leeward marker going to the finishing line, and we managed to extrapolate 3rd. So that actually, and Russia 27 was a little bit down the fleet, so that actually put us into 2nd position. Louis Hervois in 1st and us into 2nd. The race officer started the next race of the day, and we were in an excellent position. We had our adversaries of Louis and Russia 27 well behind us, and we were on the first beat, and it was all looking fairly rosy until the wind coughed completely and the race got abandoned. And we were up at the front with Uli Libor, and again with Ivan Bradbury, who was ahead of us at that stage. But that race was abandoned. There was then a long wait, and many boats decided that there would not be any more racing and went back into harbour, and in fact a number of them started hauling. The race officer was fairly determined that he was going to try and get another race in, and we were fairly determined that he was going to get one in for us as well. So we hovered in close vicinity. The wind came up from 180 degrees different, and we moved back into the Bay of Cannes, having been originally in the Bay of Juan-le-Pin. So we moved back into the Bay of Cannes, and the race officer was running out of time. The last start would be at 1500, and he eventually got us off at about 5 minutes to 3 o'clock. We were only 15 boats. Many boats had not come back out of the harbour. The Russians had made it, Louis Hervois had not. We had everything to sail for, but unfortunately, despite his best efforts, for the race officer was setting the line, the wind was still swinging hugely. So there was a huge bias on the line at the time we started, and I think every single one of the 15 boats was over the line. So there was a general recall and no time to start the race again. So we finished the regatta in second place to Louis, first in the French Championships, and obviously the French champion is the French boat, and we were second, and Russia 27 was third, and Ivan Bradbury fourth.
Thanks, Gavia, and congratulations. And finally, we caught up with Louis Hervois and his winning team.
Well, obviously, it went well, as we won, and victory is always the consequence of the privilege I have as a huntsman to be surrounded by extremely competent sailors. Both Gwen and Seb have been sailing with me now for many years, and we form a very good team. We can collaborate very effectively. And although we come from the Atlantic, they have been sailing here in the Mediterranean, which is much more difficult to predict, much more uncertain in terms of weather patterns, but they have adapted quite well. So as a result, we do well even here.
Thanks to all our contributors. For full results and photographs, please visit www.intdragon.org.